Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome into the house of sports, where we're going to talk sports on this Easter Sunday morning. I hope you guys saw the preview coming in done by Mrs. Bossman with the background music. We're going to take you to church this morning, the Church of Sports, baby. And with that being said, we got a lot to cover, man. We got to give out some flowers today. We got to cover the Final Fours on both the men's and the women's side. We got to talk about the crazy 5 minutes in the Defenders versus the Columbus game. We got to talk about Angels in the outfield. And all that being said, we come down and end the show with the Midnight Riders 5, If the Love is Gone. With all that being said, I am the Midnight Rider. He is the big guy, KG. We are here to entertain you on this Sunday morning during the Sunday Rise, brought to you by the Sideline Junkies. With that being said, I'm going to turn this over to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Midnight Rider, for once again one of those rousing introductions, because this is how we do it on a Sunday morning. For those that got up this morning and went to sunrise service, I hope you're settling in with us, getting ready for the games later on. For those that decided to stay home and chill and get yourself together, and I hope you're tuning in with us. And for those of you that sat down last night and watched the Ten Commandments for, I believe they said it was outside of 1999, it was the 53rd consecutive year it was shown on ABC.
Can't be consecutive if they got a break in there, dog.
Well, they said outside of 99 because that's when they tried to show the remake, and everybody was like, yeah, don't ever show that again. I remember that. Okay. My grandmother was pissed that year. She was like, what is this? She put the tape in. But for those that sat up and watched that last night, I hope you up and are tuning in with us. I will be watching that tonight because it's a Sunday night tradition in my house on Easter Sunday. So that is our traditional Sunday. I'll be watching that with the family tonight. So thank you for joining us on this Sunday Rise. Midnight Rider, first and foremost, how you feeling?
Well, let's do something different than we normally do on these Sunday mornings. And for the last couple of weeks, folks, if you've been paying attention to the previews for the shows that the gentlemen do, that we do here as the Sideline Junkies, there's a young lady that is taking on the task of introducing each and every one of the shows. She has done great intros. She's been very inspirational with some of the music choices she's had in the background. She's been very conscious of our choices and picking songs that we like and artists that we like. So with that being said, and without saying much more, I want to bring on Miss Bossman on this Sunday morning. She is the creator of the Sideline Junkies previews. So with that being said, good morning, sister. How you doing?
Good morning. I am doing well. What about you?
Good.
That's
so
great.
I'm gonna give you this stage. This is all yours.
Good morning to all, and welcome to a special presentation of the Sunday Rise on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Today, we will be with our beautiful, the big guy KG and the Midnight Rider, and the things that we will be discussing today are KG's giving his flowers. Like, come on, it's Sunday, the best day. Why not do it every day? Because that's what KG does. We're going to be talking about the final preview of the men's and the women's games. Of course, we're going to be talking about Adele and how he's just stealing everything with his athleticism, which is beautiful. Not only that, we'll have maybe other special guests if somebody decides to pop by. And remember, if you are a first-time visitor here, please announce yourself. We would love to have you. Love to know where you're coming from and who invited you. Other than that, you all have a great Sunday.
All right. Thank you for that rousing introduction.
You're welcome. I'm like, a lot of people be here with us on Sundays. Why not?
Here we go.
It's the Sunday Rise, and we're going to rise.
Here we go.
That's what we do.
Exactly. You know how to get yourself out of here? You good?
Yeah. I'm like, if y'all decide to have me back, that's it. I'm
okay.
like, I be floating. That's
all
my
right,
job.
We'll catch up with you.
All right.
Love
y'all.
Love you too.
Bye.
KG, this started at like 6:30. I was like, what are we doing? But I'm glad she got it out, man, because she's been loving this. I'm ready. I know she want to go live. So right now we got to hold her back, but she ready. She ready.
Man, she said to me, she says, "Hey, what did you think about this?" I said, "I just woke up. I can barely see right now. Like, you don't understand. We've gotten so good at this that, you know, we can play off each other. Because if I don't get up and do certain background things, I know Midnight Rider gonna do it. But if I do them the night before, I know Midnight Rider don't have to do it. I can sleep a little bit longer. So I get it right up to the minute. And I shuffle out, get in my chair. You know, I only turn the camera on because I don't want Midnight Rider to see it. And I got to fix my hair, get my face together. And then when I turn the camera on, I'm, let's go. But I ain't, it takes me a minute. I got to warm up like a 72 deuce and a quarter, baby.
Yeah,
on Sunday, that's the only morning I sleep in late.
Hey, so. I feel you, man. All right, let's see what we got here. Do we want to, because I see comments already. Let's see. Let's go. All right. Anthony says hi. Anthony also says, well, I'm a Yankees fan myself. I feel they're more regular season team that can't perform in the playoffs. Ooh, that's interesting. Of course, the Sideline Junkie says,
Anthony, you looking to get banned, but okay.
The Sideline Junkies podcast says, like, follow, and subscribe. I can't say it like Meatloaf, and only Meatloaf can say it. Here we go. Boss man, Junkies rise up. Matty Ice says Miss Bossman is the best. Poor KG, he says I live with it. Don't disrespect Misty Blue. You warm up like Misty Blue.
No, Misty Blue warm up like you start her up, man. She'll be warm in 2-3 minutes. Once she get going, trust me, I done started her up on cold morning. I was like, I gotta let this car run. That temperature gauge is already halfway, and we was like, let's go. And as soon as you pull off, she dropped down about a little bit under half, and you like, all right, we good.
All right, and then Matty Ice comes back again with, it takes me a long time to get my hair ready too for drive time. Hey, Matty, I'm with you, baby. Takes a long time to get these hairs right, man. Astrologically challenged people, boy. Let's see what else we got. Paul says she 2-3 minutes times 5.
Nah, man, that's because you ain't doing it right. You got to start it and you got to pump the gas twice. That's what you got to do. You got to pump the gas twice. It's a forward trick. Don't worry about it. It's just a forward trick, baby.
All right. Let's see. Where do we want to start? Let's start here because this is the biggest news from last night. That's not basketball related, not game related. Last night we had a special performance. I'm sorry. I just noticed you had it up there. From the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, Mr. Joe Adele put on one of the single greatest defensive performances I've ever seen in baseball. The Angels were up 1-0, and not one, not two, 3 times. Just 3 times, baby. Joe Adele robbed home runs in this ball game. He single-handedly kept this game, the Angels, from losing this ball game. The first one I think happened around the 3rd. Then there was another one in like the 6th or the 7th inning. I apologize if I got the innings wrong because the most important one came in the top of the 9th. As they were trying to hold on to the lead, he jumps. There's a short wall in the I think that's the left field corner in Los Angeles, and he literally jumps up and falls into the stands, catching the ball, pops up, hand in the air. Fans go crazy. So it just becomes one of those situations where it was great, man. It's one of those moments you will never forget in sports. I don't even think that's ever happened. I don't think that's ever been accomplished. I've seen guys steal one. I might have seen Torrey Hunter get 2, but to get 3 in one bowl game, man,
Yeah, that's unheard of.
Man, I woke up to ESPN and I saw the last one. I'm like, all right. So then I get the top plays, and my man got the top 3 plays on top plays. So that says it all right there. Says it all. I know you might not have seen that, but dog, I'm telling you, you get a chance, just go back and watch the 3 highlights of it, man. It's perfect, man. It is one of the best things.
You said it once or twice in a game, okay, but 3 times robbing home runs. Wow. Now, as soon as we finish, I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. And for it to be in that situation where the game's on the line each time, like he single-handedly wins this ball game. Like it should be Adele 1-0 on the standing somewhere because he literally won this ball game for him.
That's what Maddie said. Maddie said Adele should get credit for the shutout.
That's it, man. I totally agree, man.
Damn. When you are a pitcher and you have that type of defense behind you, imagine the confidence that you come to the mound with.
You can throw anything. You can throw anything. You can make a mistake. Like I said, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen was that last one. And Maddie's right. The one in the 9th was sick. He's literally running to try to chase the ball down, and he goes up and he's like sideways like this, like in a seated position almost on the railing or on the fence, falling into the fans. And then when he pops up like this, the place erupts. It's one of those things like it's like, when I say it like this, and you'll get this pop. When Obafemi comes out now, that pop you get from the crowd, that's the pop you got from when he hops up and everybody knows he's got it. It's just like pandemonium. So, it's one of those. It's one of the best ways to put a bow on a present because he just closes it out right.
Let me ask you a baseball question.
Hold on. Before you ask your question, it's almost the Nats radio guy says it best. He says, "Remember where you are, so you remember where you were on these type of moments." And that's what you gotta do. You gotta take just a snapshot, just when you come across it. So right now, this is your snapshot of where you are, when you are, and how you always remember this moment. Go ahead, my sir. Go ahead, friend.
Now I'm gonna ask you a baseball question because you would know this better than I would. Let's say you had the 3. I'm not even gonna name the 3 greatest outfielders. You got three of the greatest outfielders. You got 4 of the greatest infielders. You got the greatest catcher of all time behind the plate. You can be a mediocre pitcher and probably pitch a shutout close to a no-hitter, if not a no-hitter or a perfect game. Am I correct?
Say that one more time.
If you have the 3 greatest outfielders, the 4 greatest infielders, and the greatest catcher behind the plate, you can be a mediocre pitcher. And I'm trying to think of a mediocre pitcher that I don't want to disrespect him, but he wasn't all-time great. I'll say a Jesse Orosco.
All right. So let me say
you can pitch a perfect game.
Let me help you out a little bit because I know what you're trying to get to, but you don't need all of that. There are some guys that have no hitters in perfect games, and after they do the no hitter, they disappear off the face of the earth, and you never hear from them again. There's some guys that got multiple no hitters, and their career is mediocre and average at best, and then you get a guy like a Tom Glavine or a Jack Morris or guys that are known as great pitchers, and they can't sniff a no. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's not even the defense. I get what you're saying though in that regard to the defense, and yes, you could, but you can do it with a mediocre pitcher nowadays can get a no hitter just by having a regular defense, because it doesn't matter. It's not the players, it's when the play's made. And if you ever pay attention and watch the no hitters, there's always a defining play defensively in the no hitter that saves no hitter. So, what is Jordan's? What's that guy from the Nationals? 22, Jordan. They drafted him out of Wisconsin. Basically, he was their ace, and then he left to go to Detroit, and then fell apart. But he has a no hitter at Nats Park. But it's a great play by one of the outfielders that saves the no hitter. You know, there are great plays that happen in no hitters, and they save them. So I don't think you necessarily have to. I hope I'm answering your question the right way. I don't think you necessarily have to have the 3 greatest outfielders, the 4 best infielders, and a mediocre pitcher. You could just have it being Sunday, April the 3rd, or April the 5th, and a guy can throw a no. It's in the cards. No hitters just happen. You know what I'm saying? We had a perfect game that if jackass Jose Tabata didn't stick his elbow in on Matt Scherzer, we would have had a perfect game then. But this bum, and that's why he fell off the face of the earth, because he's a scumbag and a piece of shit for what he did. Sorry, got a little lost there. But nah, it's just one of those things. I don't feel passionate about that at all, KG.
Ooh. Well, I hate to see what you sound like when you passionate.
It was a chicken shit move, man. A man's working on a perfect game, and then you're going to just throw your elbow into the pitch, man. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'll get off my horse.
It's all right.
I'm still going to therapy.
Even the boss had to say something. The boss is like, "Whoa, buddy."
Just saying, man.
The boss BJ said the Nuggets versus Spurs and the Pistons versus 76ers renewed his hope for NBA basketball. Those 2 games were beautiful to watch.
Okay. I like that.
And he said the Mariners need to hit the weight room.
Nah, it's one of those nights, man. Just one of those nights. It's when baseballs. That's all that is.
All right, where you want to go next?
Let's
go in order.
Let's just go right down the slate.
All right, let's go in order.
You know what? Before we do that,
the Final Four.
Before we do that, let's take a quick one. Let's do one of the little 17-second breaks, and then come back and reset, and then we go right into it.
Okay. This ain't an ice break, so hang tight. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Sunday Rise. Welcome to the Sunday Rise, and it's Easter Sunday. Again, it is myself, the Midnight Rider, the big guy KG. Now, what we're going to do is we talked about Angels in the Outfield. We had the great intro from Mrs. Bossman, and now what we're going to do is reset the pilot now and take you down the road of the Final Four, first on the women's side, then on the men's side. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to the host, KG.
Yes, indeed. All right. Now, I like this right here. Final Four recap. How did we get here? Because we didn't sing enough Deborah Cox knowing this whole thing. But how did we get here? First up, the final that a lot of people were shocked about because, UConn 38-0, and they just knew they were going to trounce South Carolina. South Carolina wins 62-48. Midnight Rider had some thoughts during that game, and he was spot on. He said, they're smothering them. The defense is killing them. And I love to hear it. I love to hear it. For South Carolina, Latson led the way with 16 points. McKeer had 14, 10 from Johnson, and 11 from Edwards. For UConn, Strong had 12, Shade had 10. They shut Fudd down. She was 3 of 15 with only 8 points. UConn shot 31% from the field, 28% from behind the arc. South Carolina 37% from behind the field, from the field, and 33% from behind the arc. Free throws told the story. 81% for South Carolina, 66% for UConn, and South Carolina out rebounding them 39-27. Midnight Rider, what was your takeaways?
You know what? There's a line. He's not a poet laureate. He's not a man of great linguistics, but he's a man that when there are people in need, he and 3 other guys come to save the day. And I'm talking about one Hannibal from the A team. He used to say, I love it when a plan comes together. And in true fashion, Miss Staley came in with a great plan. She took her best defensive player and put it on their best offensive player. So Sarah Strong all night was getting harassed by a smaller but quicker player. So every time she tried to seal off Raven Johnson, what Raven Johnson did was understand the assignment and not get pinned to her body. She didn't stay close enough. So by her just being a gnat and jumping around, Sarah Strong couldn't get her position on the block and take advantage of her size advantage. The other thing that they did great was they ran UConn off of their shots. So instead of going out under control and letting AZ Fudd take her shots in front of them, they ran her off the 3-point line and they exposed the weakness in her game. I think one of her weaknesses is her ability to make 2-pointers. I think there were a lot of layups she missed, her and a couple other players, and I think that was the downfall. They couldn't get the easy, comfortable 3 because Strong was getting doubled, and they kicked it out. When they kicked it out, South Carolina came at them and moved them off the line. They didn't get those set shots. And at a point in the fourth, I think it was 40. I want to say it was like 46-42. Then UConn basically just couldn't get anything done, couldn't get anything accomplished, and it just that sealed the deal. It ended the ball game, and that was the end of the whole thing. And it was just when great coaches come in with the idea and their players execute at the highest level, you can't get mad at that, and that's what happened. And it seemed like Gino's frustration really came from the fact that they didn't have the ability to make adjustments or couldn't adjust. So I always tell people sometimes great coaches are great coaches because they got great talent, not always because they are great adjusters and great at in-game management. What are your thoughts?
I think that it's exactly how you said it. South Carolina put together a defensive game plan that worked, and they put clamps on Fudd, they put clamps on Strong, and then they put boots to asses. And this was, I called this on Thursday night. I'm a Barry Horowitz this. I'm gonna go ahead and pat myself on the back because I called this on Thursday night, and they called me a madman. But I called it Thursday night, but one thing I didn't call was what happened after the game was over. The exchange, and then the words that were had, and the press conference afterwards. Wow, is all I could say. Wow. Now Gino did come back and he issued an apology, but that's not, he apologized to the staff. He didn't apologize to Dawn directly. And a lot of people were like, yeah, it's time to hang it up because, yeah, this wasn't good.
It wasn't good, but it's great for the sport. Like we can't forget that sometimes what we do in this world is we love the car wreck. We love the fallout, the aftermath. There's a reason why people watch the Daytona 500. They don't watch the cars go around in circles. They watch for the crash. There's a reason people watch NHL. They don't watch for the beautiful goal. They watch for the fights. And they may not get a fight, but they're there just in case there is one. This is perfect. This is one of the best moments to me for college basketball and women's college basketball because it renews a rivalry. I don't know where these teams are going to be next season, but if they're in the same spot, just think of the buildup. Just think of what we get from a storyline perspective. Gino's revenge. You know what I'm saying? Dawn Staley basically cementing herself in the realm of the great ones. And she has to do the Allen Iverson over Tyronn Lue to get there. She knows Tyronn Lue. She's AI. And it's perfect. That's the perfect analogy because she's born and raised in North Philly. I can keep going with these analogies and make it all make sense, but it's the best thing that we got going on. I love the fact that it happened because it shows first and foremost he's under her skin. She's under his skin. She's getting to him. The way they played them, he's never seen his team get manhandled, get taken out of their what they do best. He had no answers. None at all. At a certain point on that Scantron, he was doing the alphabet A, B, C, D, then coming back D, C, B, A, and A all the way down because he didn't know the answers. He couldn't figure it out. So he just figured he'd throw it up, or he just filled out every square, every one of the circles with C. If you don't know, always go with C. That's what I heard. So that's what he did. He has the blow up. He has a bullshit reason for the blow up. Oh God. And there you go.
That's the boss BJ for you. Tim said, Gino is a piece of shit and a racist who doesn't like losing to a black female coach who was actually a better coach than she is. I get it. And doesn't rely solely upon one player other than the team. And Don should have kicked her in the vagina. Tim also said, I told you guys last week that South Carolina was going to win. Last week, they'll win the championship tonight. That's today at 3:30.
3:30.
And the boss says, great coaches benefit from having all the talent too.
They do, but there are times when you have more talent than everybody else, and you just can't. Here we go. You think Gino can adjust? Hold on. So Anthony says, I disagree. Gino can adjust. I feel he refuses to adjust because he knows he has great talent. KG and Midnight. So hold on. So you can adjust, but you won't adjust? Yeah, you gotta make that make sense to me, Anthony. If I can adjust, I'm going to adjust. Even if I got great talent sometimes need to be led in the right direction. There's a reason that the Israelites roamed in the desert for however long it was because Moses was a good leader, but he couldn't adjust. They didn't get to the promised land until they made the adjustment. So let's not do that.
Well, and the boss BJ said Nick Saban, but I mean, it's a lot that goes with it. It's a lot, but take that one, Midnight Rider.
There are certain people on Twitter that were accusing Gino of being racist with how he reacted against Dawn, and I feel they blew it out of proportion. Well, 2 comments before, there was another person in the group that felt the way that the people on Twitter did. I do feel like there's a thing with it's her, but I think it also is a thing with women. So I don't know if it's racist or sexist, and I'm not going to call them either one because I don't know for sure. I'm not going to wildly speculate. But what I will do is allow you guys to get your opinion, your thoughts, because that's what we're here for.
But now, hold on. I disagree with Anthony.
Okay.
Because no, they didn't get blown out of proportion because that was unbecoming of a coach of his stature. To you, for you bucked at a woman. You ran up on a woman, not once, but twice. But last year you was all, come on. Show me love, darkness. Come on. That's what you were doing last year when you won. So don't give me that blown out of proportion. Don't give me that. So you making excuses.
So maybe he's a sore loser. That could be the case too.
Apparently.
It could be anything. But I mean, everybody has a right to their thoughts. And on this show, one thing we won't do is condone you for your thoughts because it's an open format. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's recap the last game, or do you want to stay in this? Because let's stay in this.
The last game?
No. Let's stay here. Let's stay here. Because I think we probably got some more comments. And then the boss is like he's trying to jump in real quick. So let's go to the boss if we can, because I don't know how long he has.
Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, man, I just wanted to hop in real quick because I love this topic. And I agree with Anthony 100% about, I think the thing is, Gino's so arrogant. He's been sitting on talent. And I said the same thing, and I may be in the minority about Nick Saban. When you sit on talent, it's easy to be a great coach. When everybody want to come to UConn, it's great, right? We lose, the luster of Tennessee with Pat Summitt retiring. Don built that program from the bottom. Now everybody wants to go to South Carolina. Now you have a formidable foe. And like KG just said, it's fine when you're winning, but when you want to see if the meat's sour, just drop it in the pan for a second. And he showed his true colors last night. Or no, not last night, night before. He showed his true colors. It's fine when he's winning. But when South Carolina come on the scene and they got the same thing now, they can stack talent. And I just didn't understand the whole thing of, complaining about the physicality of the game. I thought whatever you did good as a team, you're supposed to take advantage of the thing you do. If you got speed, like nobody complained when Allen Iverson was blowing past people and he had handles nobody ever seen before. It was like, okay, it's time to adjust and figure out who can stay with this person. Like nobody complains when you got Tyreek Hill. You got to figure out how to adjust and guard Tyreek Hill. So just to see this from Gino just lets me know his true colors, and I'm glad they got beat. I'm glad Don Staley and South Carolina came in there and did what they did. They had a run. They went on a 9-0 run, and I think it was the end of the third quarter. They had UConn try to come back, but the whole thing at the press conference and him talking about he had a jersey, a player with a ripped jersey, and she ripped her own damn jersey. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot to process, but like I said, that's it was good to see it, especially with the end of the game theatrics. I love seeing it.
It's what sports is about, man. Even though we aren't perfect in how we react to situations, but it gives us a great story. The story keeps going. Like the story isn't like you don't stop writing the story just because this game ended. We got time for next year because I guarantee they should be playing sometime early next season before they get in the conference play. And guess what? The story comes full circle. They play in the tournament. It comes up again. It's just like the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Like we love the drama. Let's stop acting like the drama doesn't sell. The drama sells.
Now, you're absolutely right. Controversy creates cash. We love the drama, but remember when we had the Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. Remember that whole thing because we did a whole show on that. The whole "you can't see me" and the pointing to the ring finger. They got mad when Angel Reese did it, but nobody said anything when Caitlin Clark did it the game before. See, that's what started the controversy right there. That's what started the controversy, and it kind of shifted what the narrative was. Because first it was just a friendly rivalry, then all of a sudden they threw some gasoline on the fire that wasn't there. I'm sorry, they threw gasoline down and they lit a match. And now you got an inferno, and now people are saying bad things to Angel Reese about her actions, and they're calling her names, and then Caitlin Clark can't do anything wrong, but she is she is a trash talking player, and I love it. Angel Reese talks trash, and I love it. I love when you on the court and you talk trash and you back it up. It's great. One of the greatest trash talkers that ever walked on the NBA hardwood is Larry Bird. It's the Midnight Rider too?
No. What I was saying is, let's get one more from Boss, just in case he got to go, and then let's finish it out with the trash talking.
No, I gotta go, fellas. I appreciate y'all having me on. I'm definitely kicking back listening. Thank y'all for having Mrs. Boss on this morning. And y'all do y'all thing, man. I'm here.
All right, man. All right, KG, finish your thought out, man. I'm sorry. I thought you was gonna
No, it's
catch
all good.
it. Like let's go back to the top, because when we go to here, we can rewrite and finish out, and then let you finish yours off. That's all.
I like that. I like that. Hand signals, baby, hand signals. But this right here, everybody thinking what they think. But I mean, they ripped Gino a new one on Twitter. So Tim says his second time having a problem with Dawn because either he can't lose to a black woman or a team is just better. Tell Gino, just go, girl. And Anthony said, I think it's more sexist than racist, to be honest with Gino. I think he can't stand that a female coach dominated him that way. That's bullshit, because Pat Summitt has dominated him plenty of times.
No, but he's had issues with both of them too. I went back and did some research. So he's had these blow-ups before, and I think we're closer to sore loser sexist than we are racist. That's just my opinion. But hey, everybody got one, so let's just keep the opinions flying, baby. Let's go. What else we got? Oh, that's all right. Let's end it. Let's end this here, and then let's go.
We gotta go to the next game.
Yeah.
And Andy said, for me, I feel it's more racist college basketball fans that are projecting their hatred for Dawn because she destroyed their great white hope and Gino. It's been like that for years. I mean, look at how the basketball fans are divided with the WNBA. The way this is when I always say, if you weren't with the WNBA, you're just getting into it, just sit back and enjoy it. But now it's more of a Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, and it shouldn't be that. And it's the way it is now. It's not. It's become more of a race issue inside of the game than it should be, and people have picked sides. So that's the way the game is starting to shape up. And Tim said Caitlin Clark is still in that girl. Played 3 games in 2 years.
Oh, I love this match.
So next up was the late game, and I got hella thoughts on this one. UCLA beats Texas 51-44. Oh Lord, I made some statements in this game, and I'm going to make them here. Cunningham gave you nothing. Carlton gave you 7. Madison Booker gave you 6 on 3 of 23 shooting. That's your star. Lee gave you 7. Harmon gave you 8. They got no double figures from the starters. Oldacre gave you 11. Oldacre was your leading scorer for Texas. For UCLA, Lauren Betts gave you 16. Jaquez gave you 10. Neepkins gave you 10. Rice gave you 11. I'm gonna let you go first, Midnight Rider, because I got some deep thoughts on this one.
No. Actually, I was going to tell you. Let's flip that, because I got a moment I want to talk about, and my moment happens in the ball game.
Now, if I'm gonna go first, let me say something to Madison Booker. The game was 47-44, right? You decided to take the inbound and drive the length of the floor into the teeth of the defense and try to lay it up against 6'7" Lauren Betts. Where they do that at? You are 3 of 22. You haven't hit the broadside of a barn all night. You should have been facilitating, trying to get everybody else into the game. But you drove, and you took it right in. She blocked your shot. What did you expect to happen? That's number one. Number two, your point guard, Roy Harmon, senior. She had an off night. When I tell you she was killing them off the dribble, if they could have found a way to get open and get easy layups, they would have been in this game. This game would have been a little closer than what it was. Texas possibly could have won. But she was stepping back, shooting jumpers and missing. She was 4 of 11. And I was just like, what are we doing? She had one where she had a long rebound. And she drove up court. I mean, she's pushing the ball up court. She's pushing it. And then she slowed down. I'm like, you got numbers. What are you slowing down for? And my statement when I saw that, my wife's a point guard. She knows how to run the break. She's going to run down and she's going to take that 2-on-1. And she's either going to dish it or she's going to pull up for the jumper. Ain't that right, Lovey? She ain't going to answer me. But, and then, Kyla Oldacre. I don't know what was going on with her because the game before, I think she had 17 and 10. She didn't look like she felt good. She played like her shoes was too tight. She played like she was just really, really in pain. And she was 5 for 10. She missed a couple of bunnies around the bucket. She was 1 for 4 from the line. But I was like, what is going on? This is not how she plays. Now on the UCLA side, Lauren freaking Betts. And I was looking at that and I said, damn, if Lauren Betts wasn't a senior and she was going to stay for one more year, imagine her and Audie Crooks in the same front court. You got nothing coming. You move Audie to small power forward. You got Betts at center. You ain't got nothing coming. Nothing coming.
Yeah, you do, because you spread them out and you make them. The good thing is you got a shot clock. Because if you're playing me and you got Crooks and Betts, you're going to have to guard me. And you're going to have to guard me all 25 feet to the 3-point line, because until you come out and guard, I'm gonna make life hell for you with those two bigs. But even if, and because they're not gonna play man if you got those two bigs, you're gonna play either a 2-3. But then that means you got to force Betts to close out. So maybe you play a 1-2-2 or a 3-2. So that way they ain't got to jump out to the wings as much. But that's a whole different story. And that's coaching. That's a different thing. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
See, this is what I love. Because when you start throwing them numbers out, I was waiting for you to say my favorite. I was waiting for you to say boxing one. And I was going to be like, you know what? He got it. I ain't even going to say nothing else. But Tim said Betts is not a dominant player because she can be taken out of the game easy. Betts is a dominant player. You know why? Because on the offensive end, she's pretty much taller than every other player. So if you dump it down into her, she puts the ball above her head, all she got to do is turn around and drop it in. On the defensive side, all she has great oh man, I don't know why I thought about that. All she got to do is take her mouthpiece out and be like, they can't do nothing. I'm hitting them with the lateral movement. Because that's all she was doing. That's all she was doing. She was hitting the lateral movement and she was getting over. She was blocking shots. Like, excitement.
I shouldn't have popped like that. I'm sorry. The lateral movement.
That was the point.
Oh, all right. I think you got me on this
when
one.
I tell you, this is going to be epic, but this game was good, but Texas shot themselves in the foot. The amount of times that I know Texas coach, their head coach, looked at the floor and he just was saying to himself, what the fuck? He had to say that in an astronomical amount of times. So, back to you, Midnight Rider.
No, I love this because this is whenever sometimes you say grab my coattails out loud, sometimes you say it in a way of your commentary. And here's what I think happened. I think Texas won a national championship in the Elite Eight. I'm gonna say it again. Texas won their national championship by advancing from the Elite Eight to the Final Four. If you watch the way those girls celebrated, they didn't celebrate like a team that has been there before. They celebrated like a team. They celebrated like Pat Bev when they won the play-in game. That's how that Texas team celebrated. So it made sense to me when I went back and because I missed that game. I didn't watch that live. I think I was watching baseball. And I was probably watching the back of my eyelids at a certain point. But when I went back and looked, I saw the shooting numbers. I saw all the numbers, man. And I thought to myself, I said, because when I talk to myself, I talk to myself in regular name. I say, Ben, what do we see here, Ben? You know what I'm saying? And Ben was like, well, it looks like a team that got fattened up. How does John say it? When you fatten up frogs for snakes?
Fattening frogs for snakes.
They were fattened up off of that Elite Eight advancement. And the problem was they didn't have the energy to go forward. And UCLA took advantage of it. That's what I saw. And then the thing that one of those moments for me, and these moments hit me differently because I know, and I'm not saying it to put down anybody, but when you coach a player and that player is like one of your heartbeats and they play their last game, it's tough. And there was a moment when the Texas coach had to take Rory out of the ball game, and they were standing by each other, and they were talking. And when I saw it, because I saw it on one of the streams or whatever, it was maybe a reel or something like that. When I saw it, man, I like my heart just kind of like I felt the soft spot. They weren't cutting onions. We didn't get that far, but it was just like I felt it in my being because we had a point guard at Ireton. The year I coached we was coaching JV girls. Her name, we called her Sarah Small because we had two Sarahs. We had Sarah Tall, who was like 6 feet, and then we had Sarah Small, who was like 5'3". So Sarah Small was a very intelligent guard. And she always asked questions. And so we used to always just talk about certain things she should do because she was a good guard, but she was just, small in stature. So I used to always tell her, like, do this and do that. And if I tell her one thing once, I didn't have to tell her twice. And I used to always tell her during the season, I was like, yo, when you get a bench and you need a second chair, just call me. I got you. I'll be your second chair. Now, hasn't called me, so I'm guessing she's moved on and done other things outside of coaching basketball. But I used to always tell her, I'll be your second chair. And I think Rory is one of those players that I think she'll have a chair somewhere coaching. And if not, I'll be disappointed. Because she's the kind of player that could coach a team and get the best out of players and have that attachment to players. I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent, but
no. You fine. You're fine. I just as a network, we picked Texas.
So hold on. Because I didn't get here. So let's start this way, man. And I know I've cut you off 4 or 5 times, and I apologize for cutting you off. But I want you to right now. I know people say, "Oh, people pick South Carolina." I know Tim picked South Carolina. I know you picked South Carolina. So Tim, you get flowers here in this situation too for picking South Carolina. But big guy, when we were talking the other night, you made it a big statement Thursday on the Thursday night throwdown, transitioning us from Thursday, taking us into Friday, and you were like, "Nah, because I said they needed praise." I didn't see them stopping UConn at first until I saw the game plan. When I saw the game plan, I was like, oh, you saw the game plan beforehand. You saw it before it happened. You had the clandestine preview of this ball game. So I'm gonna let you just talk about what you saw, and then go ahead and pat yourself on the back because you were right.
When it came to South Carolina UConn, it's finesse versus might. And I'm not saying that, UConn don't have no finesse. I mean, don't have no might, but they not as hard-nosed as South Carolina. South Carolina is a bunch of women that play like their coach. I believe that the statement that you use is a gnat at a barbecue. And that's how they play defense. It's not in your face all the time, but it's like, and it's quick and it's right there. And it's like, God damn it, go away. You swatting at it and you can't get it away, but it's going to keep coming back. That's how South Carolina plays defense. And I always thought that if South Carolina could play the defense that they were trained to play, they could win this game. And I said that, it wasn't quite Tina Marie. It wasn't Blue Magic.
Mm-hmm.
But I said South Carolina could win this game. They will win this game. And it was just, I just saw the differences in philosophies. And I will say this, I enjoyed it. And we talked about it and we said, whoever wins this matchup might win it all. And we thought it was going to be UConn and Texas, but it's South Carolina and UCLA. So
do you want to know the interesting? So have you seen the bracket challenge?
I'm pulling it up now, actually.
So the bracket challenge is very interesting because the winner of this ball game essentially determines the winner of the bracket challenge. So our network version of this will finish, I think, in third place, if memory serves me correctly. I'm checking it as we go along too. Let me get the numbers of it. So right now, going into tonight, Tito Fuentes, my other alias, my other alias, is in first, and he has UCLA. Cheryl Miller's boyfriend has South Carolina picked, and I think your max points is 1390. My max points. So basically, the winner of this ball game decides who wins the bracket challenge. So if UCLA wins, I win. If South Carolina wins, then you win.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about drama? You want to talk about taking it down to the last? This thing don't get figured out until this ball game ends. But our network pick was solid, man. We got all the way down to, we was there. We just had UConn and Texas. We just picked the wrong side of the finals. And then who else? Maddie, 2-time UConn killed him by them losing. Showtime Sarah was out early because of picking the Wolfpack, but it's all right there, man. It's gonna be an interesting night, man. And the funny thing is, on the men's side, Maddie's won the women's. Now I think he's basically the only person that can win the men's side of the bracket. So we can pretty much say congratulations to Maddie. We ain't got to do the Maddie's so good and hope he falls because he's the only one with anybody left. So yeah.
And what's crazy is on the men's side, geez, the network finished 9th. I finished 11th. But Maddie's the only one alive.
Yeah.
Maddie is the only one alive. So,
and because he's the only one alive and he's the only one that can get points, it's a foregone conclusion.
yeah. Maddie might as well go ahead and pat himself on the back. But that's a great transition. Speaking of the men's side, because last night you had
Oh, hold on. So first, Midnight and KG, I have a question. You seen both catches via highlights. Which one was crazy, the Adele catch or the Spider-Man catch that Gary Matthews had? I don't remember the Gary Matthews catch. I'll try to look it up. And what I'll do is, if you remind me on Tuesday, I'll tell you Tuesday. Miss Boss dying laughing, and then midnight next time. Let the grown men talk. Okay, bro. Yes, sir. Let's go. All right, Mr. Watkins. Let's go, buddy. You know how this is. We've done this for let's see, what's 38 years. So let's go, bro. This ain't nothing new. I done danced. I've been dancing this show. You know what I'm saying? I danced with this devil in the pale moonlight for 38 years. We can make it happen however you do it, baby. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get us sidetracked.
oh no, that's all good, man.
Check out the personal chat, the private chat when you get a chance. But
Okay.
let's go ahead and make our move to the next topic, which is just overall our thoughts on this final game, this final matchup. It is South Carolina versus UCLA, and let's kind of do the speed round so we can get into some of the other stuff.
All right.
I'm just gonna go for my bracket. I'm not even doing this from an opinion because I want to win the bracket challenge. So I'm gonna take UCLA. That's really my
I'm
only.
taking South Carolina.
Yeah, because it's your bracket. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and jump over to the other side or to the other sex involved in the college basketball tournament, and that's the men's side of the ledger. Where am I at? So let's I know what I did. You know, when you sometimes you outsmart yourself. Here we go. How do we get here? Final four recap, men's version. We had two games last night. Which one do you want to start with?
What was the first? The first game was
UConn game.
UConn. We start with the UConn games. Going order. UConn versus Illinois. UConn 71, Illinois 62. For Illinois, not much. Wagler had 20. I Visick had 16. That's all their double figure scoring. For UConn.
I'm sorry. My bad, KG.
What?
I almost had a fan moment. My bad. No, keep going.
Reed had 17, Ball had 13, Mullins had 15. As a team, UConn shot 35% from the floor, 36% from beyond the arc, and 88% from the floor from the free throw line. Illinois shot 33 from the floor, 6 of 26 from behind the arc, 78% from the free throw line. They out rebounded UConn 42-33. What were your thoughts on this game?
This ball game, we always talk about styles making fights, but I think there's one thing that changed. I think basically UConn took Illinois out of doing the things that Illinois does. I know I'm in the minority when I say this, and this is all because of pure dislike for his father and the fact that he airballed a shot versus the Lakers, which made me so happy. But I mean, I think Stojakovic did a Stojakovic thing. It was a big game, and he didn't show up. So blame it on my fandom, blame it on my dislike for his father. I don't care. You can call it what you want. You can call me a hater. When it comes to Stojakovic's, I'm a hater unless he plays for the Lakers. But no, seriously, I think this is one of the ball games where the championship mentality took over. And when you're a champion and you can do things, you can make things happen in a certain way. I think that's what happened. I think their hearts took over this ball game, and they willed themselves to victory. They knew what to take away from Illinois, and Illinois couldn't adjust. Illinois couldn't figure it out, and it just became that situation. And from now on, there it is. Call me crazy.
UConn is doing UConn things. Remember, Hurley already won 2 back-to-back championships. This right here, this is going to be a championship game of epic proportions. But one thing that UConn did, they came in, they took care of business against Illinois.
Oh, shoot.
And, I mean, they just played a solid, well-rounded game. But I don't think you said something about celebrating hard after, winning the Elite Eight to go to the Final Four, what Texas did. I didn't see that from UCLA. It was just like, hey, we here. Straight Kobe vibes. Job's not finished. And then you move on. So that was my thoughts with that.
No, I totally agree. Do you want to do the subtopic or do you want to go to the next game?
What's your subtopic? I missed the subtopic. I missed one.
So the subtopic is basically UConn's run right now. So UConn is on a 4-year run where they go back to back. They lose in I think they lost in the second round. And now they have another shot at a championship. This is probably one of those 4-year runs that I think Danny Hurley said his brother Bobby was on this 4-year run, and they lost the championship. They won 2, and they lost in the second round. His option or his opportunity is he can actually win 3 championships, and that will one up what Bobby did as a player at Duke in their run. So that's what's on the line right now going into tomorrow night for the UConn Huskies. They can have one of the greatest 4-year runs in college basketball history with 3 titles in 4 years. And I think that hasn't been done since John Wooden back in the day. So that would totally put Danny Hurley in a different part of the stratosphere in terms of coaching conversations. You can like him or not, but you got to learn to love it because he might be the best thing going today.
Yeah. You know something? Some people were saying some things about Hurley after that Duke game where he kind of went forehead to forehead with the ref. And all I saw was a replay. And I really wanted context of it. Was that post game? What was that?
I think it was right after the play happened is when the incident happened.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't think it was anything necessarily in the moment or right away. And if I'm wrong, I apologize, but yeah, I think that was like right when it was 0.1 seconds. He's always been a jackass. And that's saying it nicely.
It's a nice way to say it, but okay.
No, he's a jackass. He's a good coach, but he can be a jackass, and he is a jackass. And he's allowed to be one because by name, and everything else, he's allowed to do these things. He's a good coach, but he coaches hard and the team has to understand that that's what they're gonna get. But let's go ahead and move on. I just wanted to make a quick note of that run because it's historic in its own right.
That it is. All right, next up, this one right here is near and dear to my heart. I said this last night. I said, if they can pull this off, they can exercise the demon of 93. You had the 5-5 simulcast last night. So you had Jimmy King, Ray Jackson, Jawan Howard, Jalen Rose, and Chris Webber on a simulcast last night. And Michigan wins 91-73 over Arizona. Bronny James almost became the first James to make a NCAA championship game. He surpassed his dad in Final Four appearances. So congratulations to him. For Michigan, Mara had 26. Johnson Jr. had 10. Lindenborg had 11. Cadew had 13. And McKinney had 16 off the bench. For Arizona, Pete had 16. Krivis had 11. Burris had 13. And Bradley had 13. Just didn't have enough to overcome. For the team stats, dominance by Michigan. They outshot them 47% from the floor, 44% from behind the arc, and 81% from the free throw line. Arizona had 36% from the floor, 35% from behind the arc, and only 68% from the free throw line. But they did out-rebound them 42-38. Midnight Rider.
Michigan, last night, there was no way Michigan was going to lose because Michigan was doing the all-cast. I think a kid committed to Michigan last night. The only thing they didn't have was like Tom Brady holding hands with Juwan Howard and company singing Kumbaya. It was almost fait accompli. And the way they played this ball game, they made it seem like they took Arizona out of anything Arizona wanted to do. And Arizona didn't look like the second best team in the country. They made them look like just some regular dudes, and they just was in the way. Like Michigan played this game like it was their destiny to be in this final. I have no other way to say it. Michigan dominated. What are your thoughts, KJ?
I agree with you that Michigan has dominated because I've been saying this every time Michigan gets close. I say this every time. You can't rest on your laurels. They got to pull this out because this means a lot. And every time they get close, they fall short. This is not going to be the year that they fall short. I'm sorry. Michigan is playing like a team of destiny. And the destiny is them holding up the championship trophy at the end. So to jump ahead, I've already picked my winner. But
no, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and just go ahead right to it. Boom. How does this play out? You already said you got Michigan. I think
it's
Michigan
gonna be
wins
close.
this. I don't know if this is going to be close. I think Michigan wins this no matter what. It doesn't matter about the point guard play. I think, honestly, they're just the better team. They're hot right now. I don't even know what their closest game has been in the run to the finals. I think they've had all double-digit wins. So if you're betting this, if the number 7, I'd alternate bet it and run it up to like 10 because they haven't won a game by less than that. So why start now? I'd take that gamble. That's the one. If I had to do a single bet, that's the one single bet I'd take. I'd take Michigan minus 10, and see what that comes out to pay off. It's not a blue magic or anything. It's just a thought process.
Okay. I don't think UConn has enough in the tank to beat Michigan. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Okay. Where we going?
All right, how you want to roll this one?
All right, let's.
Anthony said he has the Huskies winning in triple overtime. Good God.
God. So I'm guessing Anthony's taking the over. I mean, we getting the triple overtime.
Yeah, well over.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Josh from Highly Opinionated said no better way to start your Sunday than the Sunday Rise. Absolutely right, brother.
I'm not even gonna mess with him today.
And Ball said I got UConn by 10. That's because you're a hater, but okay.
But no, if he takes UConn by 10 and he bets that, that's gonna be a plus. That's probably a plus 1,000, maybe even more than that. So let's say he dumps down and takes it at plus 8, UConn on an alternate line. Ooh. Guess where we going, KG?
We going to Sizzler. We going to Sizzler. Oh man. All right. Take a break. Come back.
And then come back and now figure out where we go next.
Okay. It's on you.
All right,
so
got you.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We will be right back after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. This is the Sunday Rise. We are taking you through the sports world, one sport at a time. And there's no better way to start your week than starting your week with the Sideline Junkies and the Sunday Rise. And what I want to talk to you guys about, I was watching games this weekend. I've been watching a little bit of everything. And I watched the Defenders versus Columbus. Now, it might not have been 5 minutes, but there was a stretch in this ball game right before the half. And KG doesn't know because I know KG didn't catch this, but it just stuck out to me. It was crazy. So the Defenders scored on a long run from their tailback. I think he had 3 touchdowns on the night. I forget what his total yardage was. So he scores on a long run. They kick off to Columbus. Columbus has a short drive, and then they punt. Columbus punts. The punt is muffed by Kiki Coty. The muff is recovered by Columbus. Columbus goes down and scores. They kick off to the Defenders. The Defenders throw an interception. After they throw the interception, the next drive ensues, and there's a strip sack fumble. Fumble's recovered by the Defenders' defensive player. He gets up thinking he was touched down. He's running like he's celebrating, like they're running to the back end zone. The Columbus wide receiver tackles him, strips him of the football. Columbus recovers. Yes. So Columbus recovers, and then they turn around later on the same drive because we're under like 2 minutes. They throw an interception, and then finally the defenders are like, you know what? We're going to take a knee and take this to halftime. All this happens in like a 2 to 3 minute stretch. And when I watched it live, I was just like, yo, I can't believe this. So it was literally like I said, it was long run for a touchdown, kickoff, punt, muff, touchdown for Columbus. We come back. They drive, interception. So Columbus gets the ball back. They get a strip sack. The strip sack return gets fumbled. Then Columbus turns around, throws an interception, and DC was like, you know what? We good. Let's take a knee and go to halftime. So that's how the half goes. Or in the half goes for that ball game. But I just wanted to put it out there because I thought this was one of the craziest setups that I've seen in a sports game in a long time. Nothing but pandemonium. I think that's a Gorilla Monsoon term.
Only thing I saw from this game was how the defender sealed it with the Gabe Taylor interception.
Good. That was a punt. I mean, that guy threw the ball. I don't know who he was throwing it to because there was no receiver within 20 yards of that
because it
pass.
was nobody in the area.
Yeah,
It was nobody there. He laid a duck out there, and it was like the dog off a duck hunt. Once you shoot it down, it's like, hey, I got this. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
it was.
Are you ready to transition?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the next up, this is one of those things that we do because we're close to the draft. I decided that what would happen if we had a world where love didn't exist? What happens if the love is gone? And when I say the love, I'm talking about Jeremiah Love, the top running back in this class. What are our answers? How can we find? We may not be able to get love, but we can find its replacement. And so there are 5 backs that I have looked at. And here we go. So Midnight Riders 5. The title of this is Ain't No Love. So if there ain't no love in the heart of the city, and there ain't no love in the heart of sound. But we're gonna go with 5 running backs that the Midnight Rider would love to see somebody take if you can't get love. You may not have love in your heart, but you can find it somewhere close by. So the first one up is his teammate, Jadarian Price, out of Notre Dame. If you didn't catch this young fella play, he's a very versatile back. He's a bigger back, but he's still as explosive and as elusive. He's a good kickoff return man. I think he had 3 kickoff returns for touchdowns. He could catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got great straight line speed, and he's got great vision. So with that being said, he's one of those guys that I think he can. If you made him your starter, you wouldn't be upset, and if he was your change of pace, you wouldn't be mad either. Or if you're in a situation like Washington, where you can put him and McCaffrey back as your 2 return men, and have excellent opportunities at returns, and then you can also have him and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt as your 2 backs, and you wouldn't be struggling at all. Now, if you want a dog, when I mean a dog, I've heard names like, when I talk about this next player at number 2, Mike Washington Jr. out of Arkansas, I've heard people talk like he's like a Derrick Henry. I get it from the size, height, and all that type of stuff. And he's a mean runner. But he's another back. He's got good speed. He ran a great 40 at the combine. As I watched his tape the other night, you don't want to be in front of him unless you can. I mean, if you like your contract and you a DB, go ahead and hit him low. Don't try to stand in there and take that one on. At number 3, and this is a guy. Hold on. Let me get it right. KG. Now here's a guy. All right. Now here's a guy, Nicholas Singleton, Penn State running back. He wears the number 10. All right. I'm just going to put that out there. It's no favoritism, but he does wear the number 10. I'm just going to say that. When I watch his highlights, he can do a little bit of everything. He's a great back out of the backfield. He's a good blocker also. And he's a good runner. He's got good vision. He has good speed and power. So he gives you a little bit of both. He's good around the goal line. So when I watch this kid play, I can see him as another person that's like he's the second back on a team with an established back. So a team like, let's say Atlanta, where you got Bijan, but you need somebody else to go with him. If you a situation, because you got to feed the second back. So you're in Jacksonville. He's a guy that I think can fit in Jacksonville, because I don't know who's Jacksonville's one is off the top of my head. But that's just somebody I can think of. Buffalo. So you don't run the brakes off of your guy. You got somebody else that can do everything that he does. So those are the first few that I can think of off the top of my head. Now the next man, Jonah Coleman, He's 5'9". He's a little tank. And the only reason I didn't compare him to Maurice Jones-Drew is because he's 5'9" and not 5'7". But he's 5'9". He's 207. He's stocky. He can do a little bit of everything. He's not as good of a receiver as the top three are, but he's a good back. You know what I'm saying? And I think teams will find a place for him in their lineup. Again, this is another situation. You're looking for a second back. Actually, if Tennessee doesn't take Love, I think this is a guy that they should look at because he can give them a little bit of the explosion and that physicality that Tony Pollard doesn't have. And then the fifth person on my list is Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska. Now he's more of a lighter back. He does all the other things. I couldn't find a comp for him off the top of my head when I was watching the tapes, but he's the guy that if you have the power back already in place, then he can be the elusive guy. He can be the guy that sets it off on the other side of this. You know what I'm saying? So if you got your thumper, so think about like a Baltimore. You bring him in as the change of pace. You know what I'm saying? I would have said Philly, but Philly's got Tank Bigsby, so I don't think he fits there. Dallas is a place where Emmett Johnson might fit because you got Javonte Williams, who's your quasi thumper, and now this gives you the guy that can do things around that. But that's only if they're not happy with the kid they drafted out of Texas last year, Mr. Blue. So there's options, but this is my 5 running backs. Again, I'll recap: Jarian Price, Notre Dame; Mike Washington out of Arkansas; Nicholas Singleton out of Penn State; Jonah Coleman, Washington; Emmett Johnson, Nebraska. This is if you can't find Love because he's already off the board and Love has been taken, then you got to settle for the second best. This is what you got. Go ahead, KG.
Love, love, love. Love, love. Love, love. I love the simple fact that you got Jadarian Price as the number one on the board because nobody's talking about him. Everybody's talking about Love and everybody else. Nobody's talking about Jadarian Price. And I said something about him 2 years ago. Of course, as Notre Dame fans, we saw him up close and personal.
Right.
It's if you had to pick, and you say something about Washington, I was thinking about this the other night. You know, one of them things that keep you up at night. If Washington could, would they pick Love if he fell in their lap at 7? Yes. Would they pick him?
Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. You know why it's yes, yes, yes? The first yes is because he's a playmaker. The second yes is because you could actually put him in a slot position and run an offense, or you could come out with 2 backs. Say it's him and Merritt in the backfield together, and then he goes out as the outside receiver, and he draws one-on-one with a linebacker or one-on-one with a safety. Like there are ways you can manipulate this thing and make it work. So that's why I think if he's there, they have to take him because they need playmakers. This is where we transition into, I don't care what your job title is. I don't care what you do. Can you make plays? Can we be better with you on the field? And a guy that I've personally taken because I'm subscribing to this theory of playmakers. In the 3rd round, there's the tight end out of Vanderbilt, Mr. Eli Stowers. He's just a big ass receiver playing tight end. And I got him as a person that in that 3rd round, if you don't have the receiver that you want, he's another person that you could take. Now, he does get mitigated by you taking Tig Okonkwo as in your free agency. So maybe there's another option in the 3rd round. There's a center out of Duke that I would possibly take in that spot. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but I've seen him a couple times, and there's a kid out of Alabama that's a center as well. So maybe you go there, but it depends on what you do first. I had a nice conversation with my guy Chuck Rogers out of Sidwell Friends. He's the head basketball coach there for the boys. We've been talking, and he's been hitting me. He's been going crazy about corner, saying this team needs a cornerback. So it's gonna be interesting how the team address their needs going forward, because everybody loves the kid out of LSU, Mansour Delaney, Virginia Tech prospect. So people are saying, hey, let's take him over Love. But I don't think you put Love second. I think Love is your first choice. And if you can't find Love in your heart or Love on your roster, then I don't know. I just don't see us passing up on Love. I don't have another pun. I'm sorry. I apologize.
I love it.
Love.
Anthony said, when I look at Singleton, I see a lot of the former Bears running back that was with Jay Cutler when Jay was in Chicago. He said Matt Forte.
Okay, I can see that. He's not as tall, but I can see that.
Matt Forte was a dog, man. He was a dog.
Yeah.
BJ said situationships after Love.
That would have been
pretty
a
much
better title.
what you got.
Yep.
Anthony said, did you guys see the national media that some former GM that are covering the draft say any GM that drops Reuben Bain should get fired?
I hadn't seen that because everybody I've seen say because of his arms, you're taking more of a risk early on. So I think Bain's going to fall to that 11. I think he's going to fall into the actually no, because Kansas City's at 8. Kansas City's at 8. New Orleans is at 9. However that goes, but there's a possibility he doesn't make it past New Orleans or Kansas City because they both need pass rushers. And then if he doesn't, then he falls into that 10 to 15 range.
All right. Anthony said Eli is just Evan Ingram.
There's a big difference between Eli and Evan Ingram. Eli can catch. Evan Ingram can't.
Lord have mercy. Say it again, because that dude has let me down in fantasy a couple of years, and I refuse to pick him. He's one of those.
I didn't understand the free agent signing. When Jacksonville paid him money, I was like, what are you paying him for? Isn't part of his job catching the football? He don't do that well. So, hey, call me a hater, but I know what I saw.
When you say a big receiver that's playing tight end, the first thing I thought about, and I may be in the wrong chapter of the book, but I was thinking Jimmy Graham.
Oh, okay. I actually had, when I said it, I had Shannon Sharp in mind, but both of those worked because they're not great blockers right now. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's going to come with time, but still they have an advantage when it comes to them being on the outside. And the only thing that does make Eli not an option for Washington is because of the Chig Nkonkwo pickup. But that's somebody early on in the process that I was looking at.
I was going to say another name, but I think it's kind of forbidden to say that name. And I'm just talking strictly football, nothing off the field. And I thought
Aaron Hernandez. That's even a better comp.
I thought Aaron Hernandez as well.
Yeah, that's a good comp. Yeah. Yeah, and we just keep it on the field. Yeah.
On the field.
Yeah.
And he said Brian Parker Jr.
Okay.
And over the last few years in the draft and the NFL in general, the running back position has been devalued. So I don't think Love gets dropping in the top 10, even though his talent justifies. But you haven't had too many. I don't want to say generational talent because I think that's overused, like legend is overused. But you don't have too many talents like Jeremiah Love at running back.
Right.
So I don't see him. He's going to be one of those rare running backs that gets picked in the first round and actually goes and does things.
Well,
So
here's the thing. I mean, the position has been devalued, but it's devalued because you're not paying them big time on the second contract because you can find running backs in other places. Look, we are the wide receiver group as a whole should be taking up a collection plate every year and sending money to Treylon Burks because Treylon Burks is the reason that receivers aren't as or equally devalued and replaceable. Him struggling to get into him struggling with injuries and not becoming a factor is the only reason we're paying receivers. He was the experiment. They traded AJ Brown because Tennessee didn't want to pay him. The move was, hey, why pay big money when you can replace it easily with any other receiver? And the thing was, or the thing that happened was he just stayed hurt. But if he had a good career, we'd be talking about wide receivers and running backs being devalued because you feel like you can just draft them and replace them. We're not at what's their number now? 35, 40 million for wide receiver, whatever Jackson Smith and Jigba signed for. We're not at that number if Burks does his thing. We're not. I wholeheartedly stand on that. You know my stand. You die on the cross of your beliefs. Being Easter Sunday, I'll die on that cross of my beliefs. I know for a fact that receivers wouldn't get paid the way they're getting paid right now if Treylon Burks worked out.
Andy said have a better comparison for Eli, not Shannon, but his brother before the injury. Nah, he damn sure ain't like Sterling. No.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm.
Sterling was one of those ones. And now, Anthony, I know you mid-30s, so you may didn't get to see Sterling Sharp. But Sterling Sharp and Mo Jahowski, the Magic Man, that was a sight to see. Imagine Sterling Sharp with Brett Favre. And then he had Antonio Freeman and Robert Brooks with him.
They wouldn't have had
goodness.
Them. They wouldn't have had them. It would have been different. His injury changes the whole dynamic, the whole world.
Yeah.
Think about it like this. If how we get to the Thanos snap, like the moments before that, if those don't happen, we don't get to the snap. If when they're on that ship and what's the dude with the guns from Guardians of the Galaxy? If he doesn't lose his mind, they don't give up the stones. That doesn't happen. We never get to the
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord doesn't now. We got to go there. I agree with you 1,000%. Because if Star-Lord Peter Quill, if Star-Lord wouldn't have never lost his mind, Tony wouldn't be dead.
Okay, that's another part of this. Yeah. My bad, dog.
It's okay. Tim said, my Steelers need a quarterback. AJ Brown is a cancer to your team. I
don't know if it's the AJ Brown or if it's his quarterback, but let's keep going to the comments. Let's roll through that. Get everybody caught up.
Andy said the receiver position is getting devalued because teams are realizing they don't have to pay a young receiver that much because they can draft one and produce the same amount sometimes.
I disagree with that. If that was a thought, and Jigba wouldn't have gotten the contract he got.
Because you can't replace a Jackson Smith and Jigba. You cannot replace that.
On the other side of it, when we get to older wide receivers, i.e. Mike Evans or a Terry McLaurin, they become less valuable. But the position of guys in their prime, they don't lose their value. They're getting signed to 30 million, 34 million, 35 million, whatever the number is.
when it comes to older receivers, have you noticed that they don't play as long? You're not gonna get anybody that's gonna be now. Jerry Rice was in his 40s. He was 42, and he was still cooking youngins. And really and truly, if that Denver thing would have worked out better, he would have kept playing. Because Jerry Rice like watching him run now. This dude's close to 60. Him and Darrell Green are truly ageless wonders. They can still cook these youngins now. And we don't have that in this generation. We don't have a Jerry Rice-esque player anymore. So when they get older, nobody turns into the Jerry Rice, the Chris Carter. They don't turn into that possession guy. Everybody just want to go catch bombs. No. Let's be that possession receiver. You got 3rd and 7. Be the guy that can come off the line and get the 3rd and 7 and do your thing. That's where you make your money at. But I digress.
Okay.
Anthony said, I think Megatron set the precedent that you can retire young as a receiver. No, he had to retire because he was hurting.
Yeah, he said in a couple podcasts, he was just tired of dealing with the pain. Trust me, I think if Megatron is one of those guys that I always argue with y'all about. He's the only man that I've ever seen had punt coverage on the goal line. I always talk about that, but you can't tell me that's not a sign of greatness. But the other thing is, he went 77 straight ball games without a 100-yard rusher. Like they had it was Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, and then everybody else. And you tell me, I mean, Nate Burleson was there. Yeah, he had his numbers, but he got numbers because Calvin Johnson was on the other side. And I'm not saying that to diminish Burleson's accomplishments, but I mean, somebody got to get some numbers, So AJ cries like a bitch when he's winning. Other players would kill to get his check and win. Okay. I hear you, Tim. What we got next?
He said, Andy said, I disagree. Calvin Johnson, Megatron, CJ is a possession receiver that also has speed. I'm not sure where he fits in. He's still not a Jerry Rice type. And when I'm talking Jerry Rice, I'm talking longevity, baby. I'm talking able to do it 38, 39 years old and still able to cook. That's what I'm talking about.
Somebody tell Anthony go back and look at that. Hold on. Anthony got to look at the highlights of Calvin Johnson because there's no possession in those highlights. There's at least 3 plays where he's triple teamed, quadruple teamed, and he's catching passes. So I don't know. I can't agree on that one. So what are you eating? I'll let you start because I got to figure out what I got going on. It looks like the boss just jumped in. So let's hit the boss because I don't know what his time schedule is.
What time is it? He should be home. Yeah, he can't do that.
I'm not home. I'm not home quite yet, but I'm on my way. I wanted to say something about what KG saying about longevity. I don't think you're ever going to get that again because the league dynamics changed. You had that one great receiver, but the way the offenses are set up now and the way they run offenses, you're going to use more of that receiver than anything, you saw in the 70s, 80s, and even early 90s before it started transitioning over. And I think that's why you can't get that Jerry Rice longevity because these receivers are kind of like the running backs. You use what you can get out there running back while they got fresh legs and fresh body. And then once they start breaking down, you find another receiver. I mean, how many teams are coming out in I form? I don't know what the exact number is, but I'm pretty sure most teams are coming out and probably over 60 and 70% and some type of 3-wide receiver, 4-wide receiver set. So you use more, you lose more. And I don't think you're going to see that again. I mean, unless a guy is just a physical specimen, these guys are going to break down. And then you're adding more games. You're
right.
Talking about 18 games. That it's going to diminish. You're not going to get that longevity from these guys no more because they're getting ran into the ground. It's gonna be like a kind of like a factory. Just hey, plug in the next couple guys. We need this and we need that. So I just wanted to hop in real quick and say that I know where KG's going. I just don't think you're gonna see it again.
No, that's a great
And
point.
that's a shame. That's a shame. I'm gonna say that.
No. I think the point of the adding of games, and then even the short time of them having to recover is going to be difference too, a difference maker. Like we're talking about guys playing a Thursday night game. There's talk of them playing on a Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. Like we're putting so much on their bodies that I don't know if we can do it that way. Let's see if we can get Mrs. Bossman into the what you're eating, and then I think she wants to close us out. I don't know if she's closing us out with a prayer or what, or how we closing out this service on Easter Sunday. Let me see if we can get her pulled up, and maybe we can buy her some time until she gets on, because I know she. Yes, there she go. All right, so here we go.
The back seat's open.
She gets on because I know she. Yes, there she go.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Hold on. Wait.
Hold on.
My
Okay,
bad, y'all.
Hold
Thank
on.
you. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I'm trying to fix.
Whoa.
Sorry.
Whoa. Okay. KG, what are you eating today?
Well, today, flip-flopping back and forth, nothing huge, no big spread, no 7 different kinds of meat or nothing like that. I mean, today would have been a great day for one of my mom's breakfasts, where you had French toast, bacon, scrapple, 3 different kinds of sauce, just grits, fried eggs, scrambled eggs, fried apples, honey butter biscuits, things like that. That would have been great for a day like today, but nothing real big. I think just gonna bake a couple pieces of chicken, some broccoli, or some green beans or something, and we'll call it a day. Nothing real big, but just something to meal prep for the rest of the week so you got something to eat. So.
Hello? Yeah.
Miss Bossman, what are you eating, cooking, consuming today?
Oh, guess what? I'm cooking a recap so we can sit here and be like, hey, this is what we did today. Because I ain't cooking nothing. I'm on break. Kids been home. They're getting on my nerve. So I got other stuff to do. You feel me?
All right. So before you recap, let me tell you, I just got leftovers. I bought Sylvester's yesterday. You know how I do, KG, on the weekend. If I don't feel like cooking, I get my what do they even call it? You know what I'm talking about? Fajitas. The fajitas.
Oh yeah.
I get the fajitas. I get the steak and chicken, but I make sure they give me the rotisserie chicken.
Those are the best kind. You can turn around and make some chicken salad with that. Mm-hmm.
Or even better, if you have, and I'm doing this next week. I'm not doing it now, but in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna turn my chicken fajita into a chicken sub. It's gonna be a chicken steak sub with fries on it, and then I'm gonna use the sauce instead of using mayonnaise. I'm gonna use the sauce as my condiment. So that's my next.
What type of French fries? Are they crinkle cut? Are they seasoned?
No.
Are they curly?
No, they come with the steak fries.
Okay, that's fine.
So basically, I'd take it from the store, bring it home, and then create the sandwich right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right.
See, now you make me hungry.
I
want your mama's food. We're gonna have to call her, KG, and ask just a little sample, just for a little bit. Is that cool? Can we do that?
I don't even get my mother's food.
I know. I said, well, we can call and we can ask. I might just not be like, hey, Ma, you feel like doing the XYZ, please?
Yeah.
It's your special
Good luck
day.
with that.
I'm just saying, look. It's an even exchange. That's all.
Good luck with
Don't
that.
forget that. Okay. All right. Fine. Good luck with that. So beautiful. Okay. All right.
The boss BJ said chicken fajita headed home with me.
Yeah, he did go get something to eat because he asked. He called. He was like, "What y'all eat?" I said, "I made some personal pizza. It's 2 left. Would you like one?" Because we had a burrito steak last night. I'm sorry, a burrito pizza the other night.
Okay.
We got 2 of them when we went out on, was it Saturday? I think it was Saturday.
Ooh.
Yeah. And them joints, it was a decent size. It was only $30 for the pizza, which ain't bad. And it came with everything. So we got 2 of them because we be eating.
Anthony said he's eating Mediterranean seasoned rack lamb gyros and jollof rice. Ooh.
Where you at, Anthony? Because that's delicious.
Mm.
Did you make it?
Low rider.
I'm just saying. I'm a foodie, so I do apologize. I'm a foodie, and we just went to Buc-ee's a couple of days ago.
I saw that.
Nigga. 2.5 hours for a 3-meat sandwich. That is delicious. Fresh fudge cookies, all that. It is worth the ride. Good scenery, you know.
Mommy,
Do something different. Yes, sir. How may I help you?
6'7".
Oh, whatever. Brian said 6'7", so we're gonna leave that alone. He's been doing that for the last week, and I'm gonna kill him. If you say 6'7" one more time, yes.
6'7".
You see what I go through? It's beautiful, but it's okay. It is okay.
All right.
All right.
Well, we come to the point where we're going to end this show like we normally do, but you've asked to close us out. I don't know if you're doing a benediction and asking people to turn their lives over to the sideline junkies or not.
You know, hey, look, that works because, you know, we accept all. We sure do. We like our first time visitors to make themselves known so you can become a part of the family. Please do. We love the comments. We love the interaction. We love you because without you, we wouldn't be here. Period. That's why we're family.
All right, take us home.
All right. So today we're going to do a little quick recap about what was discussed. And we're going to start with Coach Don Stanley and Gino, period. So how does the Gino incident is going to shape the future of future recruits to his team? Because his mask has been revealed. You can't really hide certain things. And you have to respect Coach Don because she was a founding member of the WNBA.
Mom?
She was a coach in the Olympics. And she wasn't, but she
No. Dawn Staley started in the ABL. She wasn't a part of the WNBA. She was in the ABL first.
I think what you're thinking about is she's on the women's USA team, the first team that started touring and became because that was the first year they used the professional women, I think. So I think that's what she's part of that you're thinking about.
Okay. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. See?
No problem.
That's how we do it. You know, I ain't perfect. I'm still learning. I am still learning. So it's like she's a very dominant figure and she has done her time. And now she is on the island with UConn. And Gino is upset about that, especially when you're a person who has been in a certain position for a very, very, very long time. So I wonder how the interaction is going to be between the both of them the next time they meet. Because now it's going to be harder for him to actually remask since he's already, you know, exposed himself. So that should be very interesting.
It's going to be interesting, but I don't think I think for them as coaches, it doesn't matter as much as in terms of the media. It'll keep getting brought up, but there's a saying in the coaching world that you got to make the main thing the main thing.
Gotcha.
So the main thing is the games and what you call it. It doesn't hurt him recruiting wise because the players and the opportunity that comes with UConn is always going to be great and high. So players aren't going to see his actions as something where they have to figure out like his redeeming qualities. They're going to just see the fact that he wins. And the second he walks in your house and he's got one hand with 3 rings on each finger, changes everything else about what he said in those comments.
Which is true. Because like you said, they want action. That's where their money is. And they know they're going to be able to, you know, benefit from it. So
no, but I love the question because it's the right question to ask.
Well, thank you. I tried. See, I was paying attention. I was writing my little notes. Y'all be moving fast, okay? Y'all got to slow it down for us little slow people. You know, it
You
takes a
mean?
little time for me to get it. Look.
Yeah, an hour and 50 minutes. You about to get us in trouble.
No, and I'm Mrs. Boss Man for a reason. I'll deal with that when he gets home.
Well, that's just it. You can be that, but that's just because that's just the title. Okay,
No, absolutely not. But see,
that's just
I've
the
earned this.
title.
Wait a minute, I've earned this title. Don't forget that.
That's fine.
I'm here
But
for a reason.
just like the boss BJ, he don't run shit around here but his mouth.
And he right behind me. See,
That's
I'm
fine.
home.
He don't run shit around here but his mouth. He can be suspended too.
we know that he gets suspended all the time. He be all right. It's not the end of the world.
All right, what else you got for us?
All right. See, now I got in fucking trouble. See, thank you. I appreciate you.
Mommy.
We all in the same boat anyway, so it don't matter.
My boat a little thicker than yours.
Hey, I'm not worried about my boat and your boat. We're not doing boat comparisons. I don't think he's as interested in my boat as he is in yours.
See, I didn't even shut up.
All I'm gonna say is that
Absolutely not.
all I'm gonna say is that hey, I ain't worried about shit because I can shut all this shit down. So I ain't worried about it.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I started this barbecue shit.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna get myself acquainted and I'm gonna start the shit. That's what I'm gonna do.
All right, let's stay on focus, people. Focus.
All
people.
right. Okay. Back on topic.
Close the show out.
All right. Don't forget the Texas and UCLA. Don't forget that Betts is a dominant player, offensive. First, South Carolina. I'm sorry, South Carolina. Why did I put that? South Carolina. Don't forget that Betts is a dominant player, offensive and defensively, because KG nicely said that all she be hitting is those lateral movements. I'm just saying. I see me pay attention. All right. And the last one, which is what I was talking about, you know, the situationship after love. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? And I wrote down your picks so we can have a reminder of those that you felt like could replace him or, you know, be a nice little, replacement of him if they don't pick him. So you have Jadarian Price from Notre Dame, Mike Washington from Arkansas, Nicholas Singleton from Penn State, Jonah Coleman from Washington, and Emmett Johnson from Nebraska. So out of those people, exactly who would you consider to replace Love?
I mean, it depends on.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it just depends on. I mean, it's really going to depend on when you decide to make that move.
Right.
So, I mean, personally, if I'm Washington, I'm looking more at Singleton and Price because I think they'll be there later. I think Mike Washington is probably the second back. If I have to be taking my picks out of it, I think Mike Washington is the second person off the board. So that's just how I see it going and playing out. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And let's remember that, like, I don't know. Like KG said, Jerry Rice was able to cook for 30 plus years. But unfortunately, the way the game has changed, you will never see that again.
Right.
Because they run their players into the ground. So you give your flowers to those who have paved certain ways that nobody else will be able to walk down again. So with that, I'm finished.
It's amazing that y'all are still on the air.
Yeah.
I stopped, got food, vape pen.
Yeah, I wonder why we're still in the air.
It's
You know,
me.
I wonder why.
You know?
You know what?
Oh no. Oh no. Y'all's at a $140, $145 before she got on. Great show. Excellent show though. Boy, if you don't get off me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, for those of you that are with loved ones, make sure you tell them you love them. On this day that is Easter Sunday, make sure you get that last piece of bread. Whatever it is, you savor the moments and the memories that you create on this day. We are the Sideline Junkies. This is the Sunday Rise. With that being said, we want you to enjoy the rest of your weekend. For those in the comments, Tim, Anthony, Matty Ice, even Mrs. Bossman for jumping back in with us. We appreciate your contributions and appreciate you coming in and joining us. But with that being said, it's Sunday Rise. We are out of here. Make sure you pay attention because tomorrow, Monday, drive time at 5, pretenders or contenders at 7. And that is what's up next with the Sideline Junkies and the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. Thank you. KG.
We are out of here.